All right, hey guys, welcome back here to Keep Calm and Chaz on, and we are up at the Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio. And I tell you what, this place, we've only been here about 4 or 5 minutes, and it's just really cool. And we're not that far away from where we live down southwest Ohio. We're only about 120 miles maybe, so you're looking 2.5 hours to make it up here. And you can easily come up here in a day and check out the reformatory and then go back home that evening. Just a couple of events I want to bring everybody up to speed on. This Saturday, we have 3 different car shows going on. We have a car show at Mount Sterling, Ohio, and my good buddy Jeremy Sloan is going to DJ that for us. And then we've got one in Wilmington, Ohio, and Bobby is going to do that, Bobby Lucas. And then I'll be down at Georgetown for the first annual Veterans Show down in Georgetown, Ohio. And that is that's going to be this Saturday, the 27th. Next weekend, I'd like to remind everybody we're doing Villain Fest. Villain Fest at Cedar Creek Flea Market. It should be a good time. We're going to have clinics on distressing clothes, makeup. And we're also going to have a costume contest. We're going to have some hearse there, some zombie vehicles. Should be a good time. Cedar Creek Flea Market. That's September 2nd and 3rd. And I would love to have you guys out there for that. One last thing, you guys are my hearse buddies. September 17th, Hell, Michigan is coming up, and we're going to be up there. We're not DJing or anything. We're just going to take Hermie von Frankenstein up there, and with about 60 other hearses, have a good time. That's September 17th. So if you're not doing anything and you like just hearses in general, head to Hell, Michigan. It's just about 20 minutes north and west of Ann Arbor. So hopefully you guys can make some of those events. You can always go to my Facebook page, Chaz's DJ Service, and we'll keep you up to date on all the weekly cruise-ins and car shows that's going on in the area. Well, I tell you, I've got Dan and I've got Mike here from the Ohio State Reformatory. I appreciate you guys doing this.
Absolutely.
Today.
Thanks for
really
coming down.
Do. Like I said, we're about 120 miles away, and I put this up yesterday that we were coming up here just on like a Facebook Live thing.
Sure.
And 3 or 4 people said, "Oh, cool! I always wanted to go there. Can you ask them this? Can you do this?" So there's a lot of interest, especially since some of the movies that have been up here. But I tell you what, I want you guys to approach this today as if no one even knows about this place.
Okay.
Okay, because there are a lot of people down there, that maybe have heard of it. They maybe know, the Shawshank Redemption was shot there, but that might be the extent of it. So what else has been shot here as far as movies?
We had Air Force One here with Harrison Ford. That was, what year is Air Force One come out? Yeah, mid-90s. We've done a lot of music videos here. There's been a lot of photo shoots. And there's actually this big tax incentive that just come out in Ohio, so we're hoping to get a lot more films here now.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
That's right. I think I heard some
about it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it seems like Cincinnati gets a lot of films all the time. They're always
It
filming.
does, especially Cleveland, too. There's a big market up there for films right now.
So that'd be awesome if that would help you guys. Now, since you're kind of leading me here, where is the funding come to have this place open?
Most of our funding comes from all the tours that we do, the TV shows, all the events that we have, the ghost hunts, okay? That's primarily the source of all our money that comes here.
So there's no taxpayer funding on this right now necessarily?
Well, I'm not privileged to that kind of information, but I don't believe there is.
Wow.
Okay.
See, I figured they'd at least kind of keep, since it's historical, you think they'd have some money involved in that. I didn't know, so.
Sure.
We took it over in 1995, okay? We got it from the state. We actually purchased this place for $1.
Really?
Okay. And at that time when we did take it over, though, it was $60 million in the hole. Okay?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So every day, we make more and more repairs. We are getting to where, it is pretty functional now. Every day is a struggle here, but, everything that we look at is money. So Exactly.
Well, that's one reason we're up here today, because we're not that far away. And what does it cost, like an average person, just come up and go through the
our self-guided tours are actually $12 a person. We do guided tours on the weekend, and those are $17 a person.
And you guys have all sorts of events here. Tell them a little bit about that. I know you got the Ink and the Clink.
Sure.
And we've talked about that a little bit, but you guys got ghost stuff and overnight stuff?
Yeah,
right?
so we do overnight ghost hunts, basically periodically throughout the year. We also do ghost walks, which are guided, 2-hour guided tour of the building at night. We have a car show in May. We have Ink and a Clink, which he said, in July. We have a Shawshank Hustle, which is a 7K run. We have that in June. We have a Civil War reenactment in August, and then we also have then Halloween through the end of September, and then all of October.
So, like Halloween, do you guys do anything different, or is there some?
Yeah, we actually have a brand new team coming in this year. It's Robert Kurtzman. He's been a special effects Hollywood makeup artist for many years. He has directed and done things. This is his first year taking over. We've seen a lot of the things he's going to do, and they're going to be fantastic. So they'll be through the cell blocks and solitary, and they have a guided tour, and there'll be actors here and props, and it's going to be really, really good. So we've had Halloween here for years, but this is like the brand new one. It's going to be really good.
How much will it run? Is it about the same, or is it a little more?
It's a little more. We actually have different options. So we have like a general admission line, we have a speed pass line, and now this year's we actually have an ultra touch pass. So you'll actually be able to, actors will be able to grab you and things like that. So it's many different pricing. That's all on our website, though. You can check that out at ohiostatereformatory.org.
So you wear something?
You have like a glow wristband, and basically, and they're not going to pick you up and run with you or anything, but they can kind of grab you in your arms and things like that. So
now, you said something there real quick. I want you to say again so people know. It's ohiostatereformatory.org.
That is correct,
and
yes.
And that's where they have all the information. You guys keep it updated pretty good?
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys have a Facebook page,
too? We do, yeah, and that's actually just Ohio State Reformatory, and then it's MRPS, which is Mansfield Reformatory Preservation Society. But if you just look up Ohio State Reformatory, you'll find us.
Cool. I tell you what, it's... Yeah, just from what I've seen in the movies and just seeing on your website stuff, I'm excited to be here and to check it out. Now, tell everybody a little bit about the room we're in right now.
We're actually in the Catholic Chapel. If you were an inmate here and you are the Catholic faith, this is where you would come for Sundays to go to church. Now, I don't know if your cameras will pick up where the balcony used to be, but in the early days when this was a boys' reformatory, your parents used to be able to come here and attend church with you. Okay. In the later years, when it got more than just being a reformatory, then they stopped doing that. If you were in the west cell block, you came up through that way through the big door there. If you were in the east cell block, you would come up and through that steel door there. They would close the big steel door back there, and then you were totally in secure prison.
Wow. It's now, when was the first year this opened?
1896.
1896. Okay. Guy Durham, a guy that will follow this show. He's from St. Louis.
Okay.
He's got a really cool old I think it's a 1938 LaSalle hearse with the wooden doors and stuff on the side. He wanted to know that. So it's 1896.
Yeah, they started building it in 1886. It took them 10 years to complete the project.
Wow. And
opened in 1896.
How many did this place hold at one time?
There was over 155,000 inmates that traveled through here.
Through the whole time, right?
The whole time that the prison was open.
155,000. Now, you mentioned something earlier. Some groups have done videos here too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who are some of the groups? Like if somebody wanted to go check out the videos of here.
Many different things. The most famous music video that's ever shot here was Lil Wayne. The video is called Go DJ. I think it's got 55 million views on Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, absolutely. Godsmack's done a couple of videos here, and I think after Ink and the Clink coming out now, a lot of the bands really showed an interest in wanting to come back here and shoot. Yeah, so we're hoping to get some good stuff.
I've heard a lot of good things. You have a pretty good crowd for the Ink and the Clink?
Yeah, we do really well with those events. The staff and volunteers, everybody's really good at promoting them, and there's a really big word of mouth usually for these type of events, so they usually do pretty well. I
want to talk to you when we get done about that, because I got an idea.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll work or not, because I'm not from this area so much, but I'll just go ahead and say it, and you guys can think about it and brew about it.
Okay.
Maybe we could find a weekend to try to do a hearse show here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that'd be fantastic.
I mean, because, Hell, Michigan has this one, and there'll be about probably 60 hearses.
Okay.
I went to one last year. It's about 47 hearses. But I think the draw would be this. We'll have to talk about that later.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that'd be real neat. I'll tell you what we're doing, folks. We're going to shut down for a few minutes because we want you to see 2 or 3 of the different places here. We just want to tease you to get you to come back up. So now where's the next place we're going to go to?
We're going down into the bullpen.
Now, what is the bullpen?
Bullpen was like the center hub of the prison. anywhere pretty much that you had to go into this prison, you had to go through the bullpen.
And all the cells are on the sides then?
The cells are on the sides. In the bullpen, they used to have a podium that had an officer that would stand there, and guys would march through, usually in groups of 100 at a time, but it would be one range. And he would just inspect you pretty much as you walked by.
Okay. So that's where we're heading next. We're heading to the bullpen. I don't know if we've been up here 20 minutes or not, but I know one thing. Even at my size, if I stay up here much longer, I'm just going to waste away. It's hot up here, isn't it, guys?
It is.
It is hot up here. All right. We'll be back in a few minutes.
The same shot from Shawshank when the warden was looking there. You get on there, and the other people get on the other end, and you get your picture taken. That's the same way they did it for Shawshank. And that's how they created the hole in the cell.
Did you see this?
Yeah. Is it? You're actually shooting it backwards.
That's all right.
The whole camera's sat right here on this thing. Then they were down there. You're going to shoot it. You'll shoot it with your camera. Here we go. Here we go. Your tripod or whatever. People always want to know Randy's cellar. That's cool. Yeah, Hollywood has stuff to do all that stuff. We do, but we don't have the alcohol. A lot of people doing the news.
Yeah. The group that was here this week was for they're trying to get a TV show going.
Yes.
They wanted to film a pilot. Whether it's picked up or not is next story. But yeah, we'll have the shows on TV has been here.
Pretty good. Keep calm, Chaz on. Oh, I just checked the picture inside, wasn't it? The cells. All right. I think we're back here. We're on segment 2, but we have a nice little segment of being able to walk down the stairs and have Mike explain everything to Roger about the different things going down the stairs, just how many cells there were per block and all that. I tell you what, this place is really neat. There's a lot of stuff. You could probably spend all day here. I mean, what's your hours?
We're open 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
11 a.m. to 4 p.m., and you could easily get here at 11 and stay till 4 and probably not see everything.
Monday through Sunday, actually, April 1st through September 1st.
Every day, and it closes September 1st, but then you have...
Yeah, we have Halloween. Yeah, and that'll start September 23rd.
Okay, now right now we're in a place called the Bullpen. And the Bullpen, this is where they took the newbies in, and they had to stand behind this yellow line as this was before they got deloused and all that. So we're not going to get deloused today, although it might not hurt us. It's hot here today, folks. But anyhow, Mike's going to tell us a little bit about some of the stuff that is in here.
Yeah, they shot a lot of Shawshank here in the bullpen. If you remember when the fellows got off the bus, they walked in here, and they lined up on the yellow line. Captain Hadley was already standing here. Warden Norton came walking out of the shadows and addressed him. If you remember, the one fellow then asked, "When do we eat?" And Captain Hadley gave him the billy club right here. Hollywood left a lot of the props here. There's the tunnel that Andy escaped through. Okay, that's where they filmed him inside there, supposedly where he was crawling through yards of such bad smelling stuff you can't imagine. Mm-hmm. Of course, Morgan was narrating. They filmed it here. Hollywood left it. So many people come here to see the hole in the cell, Andy's hole in his cell. Once again, Hollywood magic at work. That's it right there. They had the camera on the one end. Warden Norton, Morgan Freeman, and Captain Hadley were standing on the other end, and they just shot the pictures. Inside, it looks like a hole has been dug. That's exactly how it was done. You see some signs here, Russian writing on them. Those are from Air Force One, okay? We have some of the other props from Air Force One upstairs where you see the pictures of Stalin and Lenin. Hollywood left them on the wall here. We're very fortunate they did leave them here, and we're happy to have them.
There's also a gate, isn't there, outside?
There is. The gate's outside where General Radek, when they turned him loose, he went out there. When he made it to the gate, on the other side of the gate, there actually was a real Russian helicopter running. Okay.
Wow.
And when he got to the gate, of course, they shot him. Okay.
Huh.
And the gate is still here.
It's pretty neat. I tell you, like I said, this place is just remarkable. We just went down over to solitary confinement, and it's just like it is in the movie. I tell you, it's even a little bit more eerier, I think. Now, that's one thing we haven't touched on yet. What's the deal of the paranormal here? Is there do you guys like to elaborate, or is there anything you know, or?
Well, out back we have close to 220 graves of guys that came here and never left for various reasons. If you're asking me if any of them are still here, absolutely.
Really? Now,
Yes.
what about this room up there with the chair? Because a friend that come with us, she said that chair just mysteriously moves on its own. Is that? Always comes back to the same place. Yeah.
To the center of the room, okay, is where it comes back. And we've had a lot of paranormal activity up there. I mean, people report all kinds of things going on in that room. It's kind of different. It's one of the very few rooms up there, if not the only one, that's kind of round shape and has no windows. So I don't know what that room was used for.
And that was on the same level where we were at the chapel. And one thing you didn't tell us up there, but you told us after we got done taping, was that on top of the chapel used to be the hospital.
Yeah, it's the original hospital.
And tuberculosis. Talking about the tuberculosis.
Well, you have to remember, in the turn of the century, tuberculosis was a rampant disease, and there was no cure for it. So if you came here and you tested positive for tuberculosis, that's where they isolated you upstairs.
Now, one thing that amazes me a little bit about that is they isolated you inside. There's a cemetery down in Kentucky, at Louisville, Kentucky. I wish I could remember the name of it right offhand, but it's a condemned cemetery. They literally would bury 4 and 5 deep on top of it.
Oh, wow.
But they had these places outside where if you got TB or if you got these diseases, there's something else that was rampant. I want to say the plague, but that's not right. I don't know. Man, they would actually just take you to these housing places at the cemetery there and just wait for you because they were really contagious. Right. And they didn't want you to be around anyone else. I tell you what, and somebody can find that out for me and correct me, but check that out. It's Louisville. It's a cemetery in Louisville, and like I said, it's kind of a weird place. It's worth visiting, but it's also creepy because you'll be driving down where the cars can drive.
Yeah.
And all at once there's big humps. And it's bodies underneath there. I mean, they're literally buried 6-7 people deep in this cemetery. And it's another place, like if you're into this kind of thing, they kind of go hand in hand a little bit.
Sure.
Now, we're right in the middle, Roger. You might want to show, like down here, West Cell Block. And now how many cells are there?
35 per range, and there's 5 ranges.
Okay,
on each side.
So 175 cells on each side, is that right? 175 cells on each side. And that one is the West Cell Block. Then over here you got the East Cell Block.
We're looking at 6 tiers on the East Cell Block, 50 cells per tier. Okay,
so it's bigger over here.
It is. Well, it's not necessarily bigger. The cells are smaller.
Really?
Yeah, you're looking at 7 by 9 versus 9 by 11 on the other side.
These are smaller over here.
Yes, those are smaller.
The one I went in one over here and I couldn't get over how small it was. Yeah. And yet these are smaller. And then the solitary confinement ones, what are they? They're a little bigger. They're probably closer to what the West Cell Block is. Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
But they're literally, they just shut everything and it's dark. I mean, it's pretty true to the movie, isn't it? I mean, now what else can you tell people, that they may not realize if they come up here, to look out for? Obviously, the Shawshank stuff, the Air Force One. A couple things we checked out was Lil Wayne's did a video, and Godsmack, I think, did a video. Yep. Mm-hmm. Now, anybody else that, if they come up here, you don't want to miss this.
We're doing a lot of different programming now. We're doing a Life of an Inmate tour, so we actually have an actual former inmate here, and he gives a tour of what it was actually like being an inmate here.
Wow.
We've actually just kind of changed our regular tours for the weekend. We're kind of doing like a Hollywood meets history, so you basically get a little bit of all of it into one. So we actually just changed that. We used to have very different. We had about 4 tours. Now we've kind of combined all of those together, basically. So you
get it
the
all
full
in one
experience.
shot now.
Yeah, absolutely, because when you come down here, you kind of want to see everything almost. We still do have a behind the scenes, which takes you to the attic and the basement, which is another option.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, do you guys keep a registry of where people come from? I'd just be curious.
We do have something out there where they're kind of like a welcome book where they can sign in and things like that if they choose to, and they do come from all over the country. Actually, in the mini bullpen in there, we do have a thing where you can put a pin like from where you are in the world, and we have kind of from all over.
Now, where's that at?
It's actually right in this room in here. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to check that out before we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, probably every continent, probably too, I bet.
Yeah, absolutely. Shawshank has a huge following, especially in Asian countries.
Yeah, I tell you, it's definitely worth a trip, and it's only $12, right?
Yep, that's it for $12.
$12 for the tour. And you guys probably do like tour buses, like groups and all that, and there's probably deals for them.
Yeah,
too.
we do $9 a person with a $180 minimum for guided tours, like private. So church groups, motorcycles, whatever wants to come down.
And what's the minimum you gotta have for a group?
180 is just the price, so you could have anywhere from 2 to 100 basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so keep that in mind too. If you want your own private tour, you can get that.
Absolutely.
And you said it's $180.
It's $180 minimum. It's $9 a person.
$9 a person.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta have, like you said, 200 people. Is that right? No.
You'd have less than that.
20 people.
Yeah.
20 people. What am I thinking? It's hot, guys. It's hot in here. It's hot. So anyhow, is there anything else in this room now? And we saw some pictures, and this is the actual room that they shot when the new guys come in, because you can see the columns that's in the picture. And is there anything else in this room that we can tell people about that's...
Yeah, Brooks Adlin Memorial Library, okay, was right there. Now, when the prison was in operation, that was the barbershop.
Oh, okay.
That was the real barbershop. If you was out on the yard, there's a door at the end you would come through. There were barber chairs in there, and as a barber chair opened up, you would take that chair to get your hair cut. Now, the real barber library is up on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
That's it up in there if you're looking through the window. But Hollywood said, why do we want to carry all that stuff up onto the 3rd floor? Nobody's going to know where we're at.
Right.
So they just turned that into Brooks Adlin Memorial Library.
Okay.
Now, also, when you do watch Shawshank, you'll see the remnants where there was a big heater hanging down from there. You can see where we cut it out.
Yeah.
Okay. It was just a big old heater. You will see that in the movie, but it's since gone.
So now where's the yard at? Out this direction, or
the yard that all the scenes were shot in is gone.
Okay.
Where Red was pitching and all the buildings where they were tarring the roof and everything. Those were all tore down to make room for Richland County Correctional back here.
Oh, okay.
We were able to salvage the main part of the prison, okay? And that's what we're working with now.
Sure. Okay. Well, that way people know,
Absolutely.
They come up, the yard's not necessarily there anymore, but you can tell them where it was. It was out.
We do have a little bit of it left. Right outside the door here is where they shot the scene where Red and Andy were talking, and he said, hey, if you ever get out of here, I want you to go to the rock wall, and there's something there for you. If you look down, you can see the guard tower up on top, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the original guard tower is there for the west. The east original guard tower is still there. There were actually 4 more guard towers around on the wall, but when they tore the wall down, obviously they tore those down too.
Sure. Now, when was the last year this was an actual functioning prison?
December 31st, 1990.
1998?
1990.
Oh, 90. Okay.
Yes.
1990. So that's been a while then. All right. Because I'm sure somebody's going to want to know that. And
Sure.
I tell you what, it's just neat. I tell you, what you're going to see on this film, it's not going to give you half of what this place is all about. So make sure you definitely get a chance to make a trip up here. Now we're going to go to one more spot, and so you can see a little bit more of the prison, and then we invite you to come up here. And actually, we're kind of talking and throughout the idea, you guys are my Hearst friends. When you see this, let me know, because we may try to see if we can figure out a day, maybe do a Hearst show up here next year, which I think would be really neat. So you guys, when you're watching this, give me any feedback on that. I'd appreciate it very much. Okay, we'll be back in a couple minutes. We're going to go to our last site. All right, guys, here we are for the conclusion of our... You can't hear that, Roger? Here we are for the conclusion of the Ohio State Reformatory show. And hopefully we've given you guys a lot of stuff that makes you want to come up here. I tell you what, you could, like I said, you could literally spend easily all day and maybe 2 or 3 days. There's a lady that we talked to earlier, Rick talked to, said she's been up here 8 times. And it's, for the price, it's, $12. You can't beat it. One thing we didn't ask, does anybody ever get like a season pass or anything like that?
Well, I don't believe we have one of those.
We don't have one, but it's a good idea.
It is, really.
Absolutely.
Because, you get people coming back, hey, $40, you come all year or something.
We are actually going to start a membership program. I don't know what that's going to look like yet, but there might be like a discounted rate then, maybe when you come back. Hey, you never know. Punch cards or something. Well, I tell you the thing about it, you could get people also that would probably never come but would buy the membership just to support the cause. Absolutely. And you can also donate directly through our website. We have a place now just for that.
Okay. I need to think about that, though, seriously. Like Kings Island. I don't want anything. I'm just trying to help them out a little bit. Well, I didn't say it didn't involve food either. I tell you what, guys, I feel like a guitar. I get picked on so much in this group. I tell you what. Well, we are sitting right now in the historical area. Was that fair to say? Or museum part that's getting ready to get moved actually to another location here on site, right?
It's going over to the West Administration. We're in the East right now. We're just moving it over to the West. We're actually remodeling the whole West Admin for this move.
Now, I tell you, they have stuff not only from here, but other prisons throughout the state of Ohio.
Yes, we're now a National Penal Museum, so, we will have items from different locations.
Even out of state, possibly.
Very possible.
And the item we have behind us right here, now that was never used here, correct?
No.
But it was used where at?
Ohio Penitentiary.
There in Columbus, okay. See, anybody have any insight on this, like how many... went through it, or
315 people died in that chair. 3 of them were women.
315. Has anybody ever survived that? I wonder.
I really couldn't answer that, but I'm pretty certain they were.
Well, just recently, wasn't there a guy that was, he weighed too much or something, and they give him the lethal injection, and it didn't kill him, I think, for like a long time, for like a half hour, 45 minutes or something. So I just wondered. I didn't know if anybody's ever... You always see that in the movies, they put them in the electric chair, and it makes them stronger rather than kills them. So 315?
Yes. And three of them were women.
3 were women.
One that died in there, her name was Anna Marie Hahn, and she was the original Black Widow. And she died there December 7th, 1938.
Wow. Okay. And if you look in here, there's all kinds of neat artifacts. There's they've got the Death Chamber, Ohio Penitentiary poster up there on the wall with it looks like, is that this chair that's in that picture underneath?
Yes.
So they actually have the chair and how it was all hooked up. And then we have a picture of, I take it this was maybe one of the wardens here at one time?
I think that was probably one of the captains of the guards.
Okay. A guy named James Weaker. It's a 1940 Baker?
James W. Baker.
Sorry. James W. Baker. Yeah, I didn't see it. It looked like It didn't look like a A B, yeah, James W. Baker, 1940.
Yes.
And then we have some other things over here that were these made here, I take it, or Ohio State Penitentiary?
Some were made here, some were made at the Ohio Penitentiary in Columbus. Some of the items here, we have them pretty much all labeled so you can see which were made here, some were there, and whatever ones we may have.
The bars down there, it looks like, did somebody try to break out, or what was that all about?
I think those are just a sample. Those came from the Ohio Penitentiary.
Okay. Well, you never know. You got to ask, And there's lots of unique stuff that, like I said, in the room over here to our right. Now, what's back in that room?
Well, we have a lot of inmate built items. We have looks like an original doctor or dentist chair in there, early period years. Just a lot of stuff that was used here at the reformatory throughout the years.
Now I noticed you have I saw one shank up there. Is there other places where people can go look and see what some of the prisoners actually made? Or
right in here.
Right in here. Okay. Yeah, we haven't been in there yet. So.
And actually, to this day, we're still finding them. Okay,
really?
As we do an annual cleanup here every year. And invariably, we always find something. Somebody will be cleaning something in one of the cells and maybe up under a bunk or in some crack or crevice, and bingo, a shank falls out.
Wow. So you guys actually go through and clean every cell every year?
Yeah, the paint's falling, all that paint keeps falling. So we have an annual cleanup every year that we go ahead and do a cleanup.
Just basically sweeping away the debris, because in the cells, they're pretty rugged right now.
Absolutely.
And you guys just mean to keep them that way, right?
Yes.
They're not.
Well, every year as you go through another winter and everything, and the season change, temperature changes, more of the paint peels and falls.
Sure. Now what's you guys are doing a lot of remodeling and things. So what's one of the biggest things that you're trying to do right now, as far as remodeling or reconstruction or?
Well, we're doing the West Administration. We completely did that side. We stripped all the woodwork by hand, down to bare. As you can see, we can't use power tools on them because they would just destroy all the profiles. So we stripped everything, restained. We've torn up all the floors, put down new maple floors where we've done the walls, the wiring, the plumbing, added air conditioning, just all kinds of things doing there. And that's what we're going to be doing, is moving this all over to there.
We are in air conditioning now. That's good. We started on the 6th floor where it was and you got to think about it. Think about adding all those bodies in here in the summers when it was that hot. Oh my gosh, it'd just be unbearable, wouldn't it?
There was no air conditioning and there was no fans.
Yeah, it just would be. I can't even imagine, because we were just sitting up there sweating. Not doing anything up in the chapel. Now in the bullpen, it wasn't quite as bad there. And we went down the basement. Several of us went down the basement. It's like 25 degrees cooler by the time you get to the bottom of the steps. It's like walking into air conditioning. What was interesting down there, the original hole was down there, and they talked about your girl there, Sydney, talked about how they used to, you had to actually climb a ladder down into the hole, and they would drop food down into you with buckets. Yeah, that's where it came from. Yeah, that's where it did come from. So it's pretty fascinating. And see, we didn't really go through any of the cell blocks. So things you didn't get to see today. What are some things that we need to tell them? They didn't get to see any of the cell blocks necessarily today. They didn't get to see the prop outside for Air Force One. Anything else that they haven't seen today, other than obviously all the little stuff?
Well, we have Brooksy's room where Brooksy hung himself. It was the boarding house that Morgan came to in Brooksy when they were paroled. On the other end, we have the room where they shot, where Tim came around and they were watching the movie with Rita Hayworth.
Yes.
Okay, and where they were doing the filming and everything. Those rooms are here, among other places they did some more shooting. You need to go up to the 6th tier of the East Cell block and look down.
Yeah.
It's kind of a sight like you have never seen before.
I bet. And so, guys, we're telling you this stuff because we want you to obviously come back and check it out. And I have a feeling we may be back here again in the future for something. I don't know, I just kind of have that feeling that we're going to, we'll be back maybe even if it's just for, coming back to the ink on the...
Ink and the clink.
Ink and the clink. Now, Halloween stuff's coming up. What? Any other events other than Halloween that's coming up for you here at the?
Yeah, we actually have Civil War. I believe it's August 27th of this month.
Civil War
reenactment. It's on a Saturday.
Cool. So they're going to do it back in the yard here?
I think we actually use the front yard right over here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Civil War reenactment, and is that just one day? Or
that is one day. Yeah, it's just that Saturday.
So that's coming up. We also have the Halloween stuff coming up, which it sounds like it's going to be really neat.
It is. It's going to be a great year.
Because now, and you've got it on your website already, how much it costs. And
you can check our website or our Facebook page, either one.
And if you want to get touched, you can even pay a fee for that.
You can this year. It's OhioStateReformatory.org. It's just Ohio State Reformatory. If you search it, you'll find it.
Yeah, and follow them because, like I said, they just had this ink on the clink, and it was, gee whiz, how many bands did you guys have up here for that?
Do you have any idea?
20-some.
Yeah, it was a lot.
20-some bands, and then you had tattoo artists here tattooing in the prison block, or?
We actually had them up in the Central Guard and the East Diagonal up there.
Okay. And we weren't there, were we?
No, we weren't, yeah. That's a restored area of the building up there.
Okay. Was that air conditioned?
It is.
Okay. I gotta know these things in case I decide to come back and get a tattoo here. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Come on.
Yeah, so that would be pretty neat. And I bet you how many tattoo artists did you guys have here for that?
I think it was close to 75.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a lot up there.
Yeah, I bet, and a couple of the girls that were with us earlier, they said, obviously a lot of them had appointments already.
Sure.
For it. So, and I guess those tattoo artists probably come from all over the country, maybe.
Yeah, they do.
75 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a car show affiliated with that too, or?
For Ink and the Clink?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have a car show. I don't know to what extent, but it's, I think, just on Saturday, Sunday. The event runs Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I think the cars are just here on the weekend.
Okay. Well, like I said, it's not that far away where we live. People could come up to it.
Absolutely.
And you have one in the spring, but that's it right now. You just have a lot of car clubs that come up on the range.
Yeah,
right?
Basically. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We usually have a big one here called Dropped and Destroyed, where they come here and, they have all the vehicles with all the hydraulics on them and everything.
Oh, neat. Yeah.
That was a huge event we had here a few months ago. It was big.
Okay. So
we had the Miata Club here. They had all their little Miatas here. They were just a bunch of those. And we have individuals who come here all the time. They want to go back by the wall for Air Force One, and they want to photograph their cars and stuff in front of the wall.
So they can do that? That's not a problem?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, during the Civil War weekend, we're actually going to have 330 Harleys coming in.
Really?
Yeah, for a tour.
330 Harleys. So you heard it here, not on Riding Away with Dave. Just kidding. That's a friend of mine. He's got a show. It's on Cincinnati radio.
Okay.
Every Saturday night, 9 o'clock, he's on there. But his show centers around motorcycles, where ours centers around cars.
Sure.
So, well, guys, is there anything else before we end our show here that you'd like to tell anybody that we've left out, as far as trying to get new people to come?
There's so much stuff here to see. It's so hard to just point to anyone in a certain thing. People walk around and they're always totally amazed about what they see here. And what we hear so much is so many people come back 2 and 3 and 4 times and they say, when I was here before, we didn't see this or we didn't see that. And of course, we're always doing something to the building and making changes to the building. So every time you come back, you're going to see something different.
And with the addition of adding your historical section on the other side, are you going to try to maybe get some traveling exhibits in? Like you'll just have stuff in here for 6 months at a time? Or you see what I mean? Where people could see, I'm giving you more ideas here.
You are. You're doing well.
Yeah, out here. A lot of museums do that, come here because, between January 1st and June 30th, we're going to have this on display for a.
Kind of like the Rock and Roll Museum.
Yeah.
That would be Dan's department. He could tell you about that.
There's always the possibility. We're always looking into new programming if we think it can benefit our mission statement and definitely, teach the history of,
What is the mission statement for your place here?
Really just to teach people about incarceration, and teach them what it was like here and what the reformatory really was trying to accomplish in its time period.
Okay. And I tell you, there's, not trying to get political here, but it's a big issue anymore. I
Sure.
mean, I don't know
Absolutely.
how many prisons there are in the state of Ohio. Do you guys know? I have no clue.
I do not offhand.
I have been in one of them actually to play music at one time. I was in Lebanon Correctional Institute, and it was different. And I tell you what was more different about it. We used to go and play for graduations, for Wilmington College graduations, and it wasn't so much the guys walking in there, but we had girls with us that played also in the group.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I wouldn't want to have been one of them because they were just, I could feel the guys watching them, A friend of mine actually graduated too. He's a bigwig right now in the Ohio Reformatory. I don't know where he's at now. The guy named Ernie Moore. Do you know who Ernie Moore is?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the warden or he works I think in Columbus now with the state prison system. Real good guy. So anyhow, want to thank you guys very much for letting us come up here and do this.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming down.
And sharing your wealth of knowledge too,
Sure.
because it's going to hopefully benefit our show because this is definitely a cool place. But hopefully, this show will bring you guys some visitors, and who knows, maybe a couple of events.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I see definite possibilities. Plus, if you use any of my ideas, that's fine. You're more than welcome.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
I don't want to charge. Let's see what. Let's review. Well, that'd be okay. Yeah, that'd be okay. Well, let's review my ideas again. Let's see. One was a membership thing, like a season pass.
Okay.
And what was the other one? I can't. What was the other one?
Having the Hearst Show?
Well, the Hearst Show, but no, there was another thing.
Traveling exhibits.
That was it.
Yeah, traveling exhibits. So you need to write these down.
I will.
See, my parents both had Alzheimer's. Can you tell?
Well, we got them on film, so we don't.
We got them.
That's why I write stuff down all the time, because my mind can go blank like that. I sometimes could draw a picture of somebody better than remembering their name. Of course, some people you don't want to remember their name. It's like, okay. Anyhow, guys, hey, thanks for joining us. This episode, just for your guys' avocation, this won't go online until the last Wednesday in August.
Okay.
Because we've got a new show we just filmed last night. It's coming up for this week. Then we have Candy's show, and then we have your guys' show. Which is actually kind of cool because it's getting closer to Halloween, so you guys can look at the Halloween special that's going on up here. And like I said, we'll talk too, and who knows, maybe we'll have a Hearst show. You guys are my Hearst friends out there that watch this show. Please check it out and give me your feedback. You guys can come back and walk through here. There's Candy. There's Candy and Captain 69 from earlier.
Well, that would be kind of cool this year to have the Halloween exhibit along with a Hearst exhibit.
Oh, it would be.
I think they would kind of go hand in hand.
Now, I don't know if we can get something together that quick, but we can look. See, the problem, my fear of always this kind of stuff is, like when we had organized car shows around town, like I just organized one last week, we had 80 cars there. But see, I'm not from up here, so I don't know if we can get the word out or not. But we might, because I tell you, one thing that would help us is Hell, Michigan, September 17th. So if we can get something settled before then, we might be able to do this.
Okay. Let me know.
Love to have you.
All right. Well, guys, thanks a lot. Well, I'd like to remind you to keep calm and Chaz on. And don't forget, life's too short to drive boring cars.